Yeah, this ad was sent to us by the Inboxer. And this is an AudioVox Model 736 electric bass guitar. Excuse me, which was the world's first electric bass guitar ever manufactured. This is an ad from eBay. It says, what we're placing on auction today is one of only 3 AudioVox Model 736 electric bass guitars known to exist. One of the Model 736 basses is in the Paul Allen E&P Museum in Seattle, and the other one is held by a private collector of vintage guitars. These Model 736 electric bass guitars were manufactured by my grandfather, Paul Tutmark, in Seattle, Washington, starting in 1936 under his AudioVox brand name. The story of this vintage bass guitar model was recently told in vintage guitar magazines. There's actually a YouTube demo of one, which probably should check out at some
I
point.
watched it.
This electric bass guitar has been owned for over 60 years by one owner and was purchased directly from my grandfather, Paul Tutmark. The guitar shows some minor signs of wear, but is in overall good condition. It plays fine with the original pickups, still work fine. The guitar is in all original component configuration. Of the 3 Model 736s known to exist, the one in the EMP Museum is a painted model. The one held by the collector is finished, unpainted varnished wood, as this one is. The wood appears to be black walnut. Original guitar case is in good condition and it is included. Shipping costs to be determined by destination. So what do you think about this?
This thing sold for $23,850.09 on eBay.
That is crazy.
That's bananas. But it's the first electric bass in the world.
Yeah, and there's only 3 of them.
And it's pretty wild to look at the source and like think about how far the design of bass has come and how far it hasn't come. Like it's all there.
Yeah.
The concept is there. And from what I've always understood, bass guitar really didn't exist for a long time. Like it was like a completely different instrument, and like the form it took as the electric bass is completely different from any other instrument that existed prior.
Sure.
Like it's its own thing. And it's just really interesting to look at this and be like, it's got a somewhat modern appearing neck on it.
Mm-hmm.
A modern, like, sort of headstock thing going on.
It looks good. It looks, honestly, like, not to discount it.
Like, even the nut, like, the nut isn't, like, a weird, like, dimension or anything like that. It looks like a modern nut.
Yeah.
The tuning pegs look small. They don't look modern big tuning pegs, but they have, like, that bass tuner shape to them.
Yeah.
I mean, things get a little weird with the shape of the body. It's kind of like a weird, like, viola sort of shape.
There's plenty of like weird things out there.
But this looks playable as a electric bass in a modern sense. It's not like, like the Wright brothers airplane was like the funkiest airplane you've ever seen in your life. This is a bass guitar. And it's got a cable coming out, and it's in a bass guitar case. Like, it's amazing how close the first electric bass guitar is to the modern concept.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
The bridge is really interesting. It's a really small little strip of something, and that kind of lends back to a more of a classical instrument.
Yeah,
sort of
it really reminds me of like a banjo bridge.
Yeah, there's no visible pickup on this, so I'm assuming it's some sort of piezo like microphone sort of pickup.
That's what I was wondering too, because it says the pickup is there, but
really cool like hexagon knob on this thing.
Oh, I think that knob is really nice. I think overall, like, I imagine they had to catch wind of this. Like, I want to see the Eastwood version.
I know, right? Oh, did you notice that it's string through too?
Yeah.
The strings goes through the body. Really cool. Oh yeah, totally. I'd love to see Eastwood tackle this. I think they would do a really fun job of this. The pick guard is rad. I can't tell if that's like a celluloid moto or something like that, or if it's like
pretty crazy.
A weird polished kind of brass. In the video, it looks, and in this shot, it looks metallic.
Yeah.
Like it's some sort of like crystallized metal.
Yeah, in other shots, it does look more like you said, like a moto.
Yeah. It's just a trip. So often we see things sell for ridiculous high dollar values because someone famous played it.
Yeah.
I always get more of a kick out of this sort of thing where it's like, oh, this is just a really old guitar and it's the first of its kind and it has like a history behind it beyond like who played it. Like who cares who played this thing? It's an instrument of value for its own sake,
Yeah.
not because someone famous played it. And I think that's something that
It's actually
really tickles my
one of the things you
fancy.
were talking about the tuners. One of the things that's interesting about the tuners is that they're all the same. Like those are actually
Yeah,
like four on a side tuners.
yeah,
They're not they're not supposed to be like there.
totally. They probably pulled them off of some other instrument
Yeah.
because yeah, the gears in a different place on the other side is they are turned around.
Yep.
I wonder how I in the video the guy fiddles around with it and plays
Mm-hmm.
it a little bit, and it's like okay, this guy's kind of playing it, but it's not like he's not ripping into it. I'd love to see someone who plays bass in a really modern way have some fun with this thing. And he was using like a little bass amp. I'd love to hear it through a modern rig too.
Mm.
And I'd love to know what's going on with the electronics. What are the pickups like? What's underneath there? The guy in the video made a point that he was messing with the volume knob on it, and there was no crackle on the volume knob after what 80 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still nice and smooth and quiet.
Right.
This is a cool ad. I'm glad Adam found this.
Yeah. This one's a good one.
Yeah, and I'm glad it was like all the info was still up on eBay, even though it ended. I
That's the one
even
thing I like about eBay is that
yeah.
stuff stays up. Like
So
you, so you can actually kind of like get like actual representations of the way people who have sold things or also like how they advertise them.
I really love the logo on the headstock. It's like a metal badge. It's
Right.
so funky looking. I can't even describe it. Go look at the pictures of this thing. Look up the video of it. In pretty decent condition too for being so old. Do we want to tackle the next